All right, in this example, we're going to look at solving a rational inequality. And here we have x minus 9 over x minus 18 greater than 3. And so the first thing we're going to have to do is make one side 0. So we're going to bring the 3 over. And that's going to give us x minus 9 over x minus 18 minus 3 greater than 0. And then we're going to have to get a common denominator so we can combine these two terms. Yeah, so the first thing we're going to do is make the 3 into a fraction. And then we're going to have x minus 9 over x minus 18 minus. Now for these fractions to have a common denominator, the 3 over 1 is going to have to get a denominator of x minus 18. So in other words, I gave an x minus 18 to the bottom, and whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So that's going to give me 3 times x minus 18, and all of that greater than 0. Okay, next step, we're going to distribute, in this case, the negative 3, and that's going to give us x minus 9 minus 3x plus 18 times 3. Let's see here, 3 9 8 24, that's 54. All over the common denominator greater than 0. And then we can combine like terms. So we have x minus 3x, which is minus 2x. We have negative 9 plus 54, which is plus 45, all over x minus 18 greater than 0. So at this point, we now have a single fraction greater than or equal to 0, and we can go and find our critical points. So we're going to set the numerator equal to 0, and we're going to solve for x. So that's going to give us minus 2x equals minus 45. Divide both sides by negative 2. X equals 45 halves. A negative over a negative makes it a positive. And we're going to come back and set the denominator equal to 0. X minus 18 equal to 0. Move the 18 over, we get x equals 18. And those are our two critical points, which we can then take to the number line. And which one of those is smaller? I think 18 is smaller than 45 halves. And remember that the critical point that comes from the denominator has to be an open circle. The other critical point is going to be an open circle because the inequality doesn't have the equal to part. And then to figure out which sections are shaded, we're going to need test points. So a number less than 18, I'm going to choose 0. A number between 18 and 45 halves, I'm going to choose 20. And a number bigger than 45 halves. So we're going to have to think about what that is. 45 divided by 2 is 22 and a half. So we're going to say 30 to be safe. And now we're going to plug those test points right here. We're going to take those all the way back up to here and test them. So plugging in 0 is going to give us 45 over negative 18. And we want to know, is that greater than 0? Well, a negative number is not greater than 0, so that's false. And then we're going to check the 20. So that's going to give us negative 40 plus 45. Whoops. 45. And 20 minus 18 is 2. And that's going to be 45, let's see, 45 minus 40 is 5 over 2, which is positive, which is greater than or equal to 0. That's true. And that means we're going to shade that region. And then if I plug in the 30, that's going to be 2 times 30, that's negative 60 plus 45 over 30 minus 18. And that's going to be 45, 55. That's going to be negative 15 over 12, which is negative, which is not greater than 0. And so now, looking at the region that is shaded, we can get the solution. That's going to be everything from 18 to 45 halves. And those are both parentheses because they're both open circles. And that's the solution.